Um, Before we get into this, um, let me be clear about something. I don't believe in luck as some random force that just happens to people, but I do believe in alignment. I believe in being in the right internal state to recognize and receive what's available. And that's what we're actually talking about here. Not magic, alignment. Let's go. Listen carefully. There's a shift happening in your life right now that's going to change how you experience reality. Not because the universe suddenly decided to favor you, not because you've paid some cosmic debt, not because you manifested perfectly or followed the right steps, but because you've been doing work, internal work, the kind that doesn't show immediate results, but that fundamentally changes your frequency, your presence, your capacity to receive. And that work, it's reaching a tipping point. Stay with me. Because what people call luck is often just readiness meeting opportunity. It's being in the right state when the right conditions appear. It's having done enough internal clearing that when good things show up, you can actually let them in instead of sabotaging them, and you're there, or you're getting there. You're entering a phase where what you've been building internally is going to start manifesting externally in ways that feel almost too good to be true, especially in the realm of love, of connection, of partnership, of how you relate and are related to. Can you feel this shift building, this sense that something's different? Drop a comment if you're already sensing this energy, because here's what I'm picking up on about what's actually changing. Your energy is different, not in some vague woo-woo way, but in a tangible, observable way. You're carrying yourself differently, you're making decisions differently, you're showing up differently, and that difference, it's magnetic. It's creating a field around you that attracts different kinds of people, different kinds of situations, different kinds of possibilities than what you were attracting before, because you're not operating from the same place you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. You've healed things. You've released patterns. You've let go of stories about yourself that were limiting what you could receive. You've stopped accepting less than you deserve. You've stopped making yourself smaller to make others comfortable. You've stopped betraying yourself to maintain connection with people who couldn't see you clearly. And all of that work, it's changed your frequency, changed what resonates with you, changed what you're available for and what you're not. Does this feel accurate? Have you been noticing this evolution in yourself? Let me know in the comments, because let me tell you specifically what I'm seeing about this lucky era in the context of love. You're about to experience what it feels like when things flow instead of requiring constant effort. When connection feels natural instead of forced. When someone's presence adds to your life instead of complicating it. And if you've been used to struggling, to working hard for basic respect, to constantly trying to make things work with people who weren't meeting you halfway, this is going to feel almost disorienting at first. You're going to wonder what the catch is. You're going to wait for the other shoe to drop. You're going to question whether something this easy can be real. But it is real. It's just what happens when you're actually aligned with someone. When the compatibility is genuine, when both people are showing up from wholeness instead of need. And that's what's becoming available to you now. Not because you're lucky, but because you're ready for it. Have you been craving this kind of ease and connection? Comment below if this speaks to you, because here's what else I'm sensing about this phase you're entering. Opportunities are going to appear that didn't exist before. Not because the universe is suddenly being generous, but because you're in different spaces, both physical and energetic. You've been expanding your world, trying new things, going new places, engaging with life differently than you did when you were stuck in old patterns. And that expansion, it it puts you in proximity to different people. It creates different possibilities for connection. So you might meet someone in an unexpected context, through a new hobby, at an event you almost didn't attend, through a friend you recently connected with, or someone from your past might re-enter your life, but both of you are different now. The timing that wasn't right before is right now. The compatibility that couldn't work then can work now, or you might suddenly see someone who's been in your orbit all along, but you weren't available to recognize them. Your filters have changed. Your awareness has sharpened, and you're finally noticing what was there but invisible to you before. All of these scenarios, they look like luck. They feel like coincidence. They seem random, but they're not. They're the natural result of you becoming someone who's ready for different experiences. Does this make sense? Can you see how your growth creates different outcomes? Let me know in the comments, because I want to address what might be your biggest block to receiving this. The belief that you don't deserve it, that good things happening in love means you're taking something from someone else, that if it feels easy, it must not be real or sustainable. And I need you to hear this clearly. You deserve ease. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve someone who sees your value without you having to perform or prove it. You're not taking anything from anyone by having a healthy, flowing relationship. You're not being greedy by wanting connection that feels good. You're just allowing yourself to have what's actually appropriate, what's actually aligned, what's actually available when two compatible people meet at the right time in their respective journeys. And that's not luck. That's just how it works when the conditions are right. So when this era of ease starts manifesting, when you meet someone or reconnect with someone or experience a shift in an existing dynamic that feels almost too good, don't sabotage it. Don't question it to death. Don't convince yourself there must be something wrong, because it's not hard. Just receive it. Let yourself have it. Trust that you've done the work to be ready for this and that you can handle it without falling apart or reverting to old patterns. Can you commit to receiving instead of sabotaging? Drop a comment if you're willing to try, because here's what this lucky era might specifically look like in your love life. For those of you who are single, someone's entering or about to enter who matches your energy, who's done their own work, who's ready for real partnership instead of just casual connection or half-committed situationship. And the meeting, it's going to feel different than previous meetings. There's going to be a quality of recognition, of familiarity, of, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Not fireworks necessarily, not drama, but a sense of rightness, of ease, of being able to be yourself without translation. And if you let yourself explore it, if you don't run from it because it's unfamiliar, if you stay present with it even when it scares you a little, it has real potential to develop into something substantial, to become the kind of partnership you've been building yourself to be ready for. For those of you who are in relationship, there's a shift coming in the dynamic, a deepening, a movement toward more commitment or more intimacy or more honesty. Something that's been stuck is going to unstick. Something that's been unclear is going to clarify. Something that's been surface is going to deepen, and it's going to feel like relief, like finally being able to breathe, like the relationship is finally becoming what you sensed it could be but wasn't quite able to access before. Not because your partner is suddenly different, but because you're different. And your difference is creating space for different interaction. For those of you in complicated situations, there's going to be resolution, clarity about whether this is worth continuing or whether it's time to release it and make space for something more aligned. And that clarity, it's going to feel like luck, like the universe finally giving you the sign you've been waiting for. But it's not luck, it's just you finally being ready to see what's actually been true all along. Which scenario feels most relevant to your situation? Let me know in the comments. Because I want to talk about why this feels like luck when it's actually just alignment. When you've been struggling for a long time, when you've been working hard for basic reciprocity, when you've been accepting less than you deserve, normal, healthy dynamics feel exceptional. They feel like winning the lottery. They feel like luck instead of just what's appropriate. But here's the truth. Easy connection isn't rare. Reciprocal partnership isn't exceptional. Being with someone who actually values you isn't luck. It's just what happens when you stop accepting dynamics that require you to shrink or perform or constantly prove yourself. So this lucky era you're entering, it's not actually about luck increasing. It's about your standards increasing, your self-worth solidifying, your capacity to recognize and receive healthy dynamics expanding. And from that shifted baseline, what shows up feels extraordinary, feels like blessing, feels like finally catching a break, when really it's just you finally allowing yourself to have what you always deserved but weren't ready to receive. Does that reframe land? Does it shift how you see what's coming? Comment below if this perspective helps, because here's what else I'm sensing about this phase. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be without challenge or growth or moments of discomfort. But the challenges are going to be different. They're going to be the productive kind, the kind that deepen connection instead of destroying it, the kind that require communication and vulnerability instead of just endurance. You're not entering a fantasy where everything is effortless and magical and requires nothing from you. You're entering a phase where the effort you put in actually yields results, where the work you do in relationship actually strengthens it instead of just keeping it from falling apart, where challenges are things you navigate together instead of things you suffer through alone while hoping the other person eventually shows up. And that's the real luck. Not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of partnership that can handle difficulty. Have you been ready for that kind of dynamic? Let me know in the comments, because I want to address what might happen as you start experiencing this shift. You might feel guilty, like you don't deserve this while others are struggling. Like, Having ease in love is somehow wrong when so many people don't have it, and I need you to release that because your happiness doesn't diminish anyone else's potential for happiness. Your healthy relationship doesn't take anything from someone else. You being in aligned partnership is actually a gift. It shows others what's possible. It models healthy dynamics. It raises the collective standard for what we accept in love. So don't dim your joy to make others comfortable. Don't minimize your good fortune to avoid being seen as bragging. Just be grateful. Be present with what you have. Be generous in sharing what you've learned about getting to this place. But don't apologize for it. Don't shrink it. Don't refuse it because others don't have it yet. You did the work to be here. You earned readiness through your healing. You created capacity through your growth. And you get to enjoy what that creates without guilt or apology. Can you receive that permission? Drop a comment if you're claiming it, because here's what I really want you to take from this. This lucky era you're entering, it's not happening to you. It's happening through you. You created the conditions for it through your choices, your healing, your growth, your refusal to keep accepting less than you deserve. And that means you can trust it. You can trust that you're ready for it. You can trust that you've built the foundation to sustain it. So when it shows up, when the ease appears, when the connection flows, when the partnership deepens, don't question it to death. Don't wait for it to fall apart. Don't sabotage it because it doesn't match your previous experience. Just be in it fully, presently, gratefully.